And now for something completely different.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Miami Geeks Weekly Updates brought to you by DigitalCrackerNetwork.com. I'm your host, Punch35. With me, as always, not Willie, but our special guest, Logan from Red Bandana Gaming.
I forgot how loud you are, good sir. Wow. Kind of blew out my ears there for a moment.
Are you trying to say that I'm Cubanish?
Well, like a sandwich. Okay. I do like Cuban sandwiches.
I see what you did there. It's fine.
They're really good. I used to go to this place in Kendall, and they had a variation of the Cuban sandwich called the Media Noche. It was freaking great.
La Medianoche is amazing. And actually, if you think about it, any Cuban
it's called
restaurant,
Sergio's. Sorry.
Meth. That is no. Forget about it. I know what you're talking about.
Well, they changed the name of it. I forgot what they changed it to. It was the one in it was in
By
Kendall.
the Falls, no, not the Falls.
The one near Miami-Dade. Oh, what's it called? It's further out. It had the CC's Pizza in there, and it had they opened up some kind of club in there. I forget what it was called.
It was okay. I'm probably
Town and Country.
Town
and Country.
That's what I was gonna say. I know it's like a little center. That's all I remember.
Yeah,
and that's why I was like, isn't it somewhere in the center? That's all I remember.
Dude, I haven't been there in a long time. We're talking more than a decade. So,
man. Well, but you know what, man? I gotta tell everybody here, Logan is by far amazing. Yeah, no, but I'm aiming at my screen.
Thank you.
Guys, don't ever judge me for where I'm pointing at, okay? Yes, he's here, but for me, he's here. Okay?
We do that all the time. We do that all the time these days, so don't feel bad.
But guys, Logan is he is by far amazing, and you guys got to check out his channel, first of all.
He's not a liar.
That guy. But we're gonna get more into the introduction of him and more into an interview later on. But we need to talk, guys. There's so much that we had to bring up today, and I gotta bring up Logan for this one because he knows a little more about what's going on here, and it has to do mostly with the Sony investigation about the whole ransomware attack. And dude, talk to us. What is this big deal with the whole Sony ransomware? I mean, I've been through them all with the companies, with the city that I work with, everything. And it looks like this is not the first time that happened to Sony. What's the deal here? What's going on?
Okay, for those of you who are a bit younger, who don't remember the good old days of the PlayStation 3, well, there was a ransom attack. There was a by Anonymous back in 2011, which stole all kinds of data and you name it off of Sony servers. So, with this being said, recently, within, I want to say about 3 or 4 days ago, another company decided to say, hey, they got into all of Sony's systems, but it wasn't specified that it was into PlayStation. Now, I've actually covered this with 3 different videos this week. Today, I lightly touched on it, but the last 2 days, I definitely covered it. And there's a lot of people out there that are trying to say it's a hoax. This was not a hoax. It's just how bad it really was. Sony really hasn't been saying much about it, but they're claiming to have taken over 6,000 files from multiple parts of Sony. So they broke in, stole all kinds of files. But now people are trying to argue 6,000 files isn't much. But I'm also telling people, do you not know how computers work? Do you know how much is in one file?
I have several questions.
That's what I was going to say.
We really don't know how much they've stolen yet. Sony hasn't put out anything today. As of yesterday, they announced to a number of different outlets saying they're investigating it. That's it. So until they say anything else, we really don't know. Everything's all speculation, but you can guarantee it is not. It is not a hoax. It's about how bad it really is and how and who it will affect.
Logan, okay, so knowing that they already hacked and probably got down to 6,000 files, which between you and I, we know about computers and stuff like that. There could be a bunch of files in there within those 6,000 files. We're talking about also like user credentials and stuff like that. Like besides PlayStation itself, we're talking about Sony in general.
Correct.
So are we talking about Sony's like database, archives and stuff like that? Is that what we're aiming for more or less?
As of right now, it's not clear. So what I'm telling people, we don't know if it's PlayStation. We don't know if it's Sony rewards. We don't know if it's your Sony accounts, because there's a lot of people that have the credit cards and stuff through them. There's all kinds of accounts that people have made through Sony in general. So I'm telling people, hey, just be safe. Do what you do if your data would normally get out there. Better safe than sorry. Hey, if it doesn't happen, oh well. You know, if nothing bad comes of this, better safe than sorry. But as of right now, we don't know, and Sony isn't putting anything out there, which honestly I think is better, because they're not creating that maybe that panic.
This is fine.
So
I mean, you're right about something though, because when we had the PlayStation 3 and they got hacked, I remember kind of clear as day when the PlayStation Store was off. Like there was nothing going on, and everyone was like, "What's going on? How come I can get in my PlayStation Store?" And I think it's that they sent an email to every user, and they're like, "Yeah, there's been a hack, there's been a breach. Reset your passwords, do two-step verification, and a bunch of other things there."
right.
And I'm trying to sit back with going, I got my two-step on, I got it to pretty much logged into my cell phone, but now I have this in the back of my mind that out of the 6,000 files, what are the chances that one of those folders is our password logins and two-step verification codes and all that stuff just to get into our accounts?
Right.
That's a pretty big thing there, which I was thinking about. And what do you think is going to be the outcome for this? Like, now that we're in day 3.
Right.
Yeah, day 3. What do you think is going to be the outcome for this breach right now? Do you think Sony executives are going to be talking about it soon? Are they going to be doing something to beef up their security? Or, just kind of thought about it. Like, what do you think is going to be happening?
So with that being said, I'm going to reference the video that I made today where I talked about Sony is all of a sudden today, after making that announcement of we're investigating, is putting tons and tons of games on sale for 75% off. They announced next month's free games. They're doing stuff to make you either forget that it happened or not worry about it. What I'm thinking is what they're doing as a company, they're trying to say, hey, it's not that big of a deal, without saying it's not that big of a deal until they can basically get more information and not create such a media frenzy. Because if they go, okay, they got everything, we're screwed, we're all gonna die, and then people are just gonna lose confidence in Sony, because one, what have they just done? They just jacked up their prices on PlayStation Plus, and now all their games have been going to PC. So people are like, okay, how can we trust you? Why do we even need to bother? We'll just play all your stuff on PC. We'll just, stop buying your TVs now. We'll just buy Samsung. Why do we need your cameras now? We'll just go buy Nikon, and, stuff like that. They don't want, because it's not just the PlayStation. It's everything under the Sony umbrella. So they're trying to keep, in my opinion, I just think they're trying to keep that frenzy down. And then as soon as they have rock solid information, they're going to be like, here you go. This is it.
All right. I could
but as of right now, we just don't have any solid information. It's all just speculation on our parts. We just know the hack is real. So,
all right. And you know what? That's all I'm fine dining with me. Now, my real question is going to be for the audience. Guys, what do you guys think about everything right now that Logan has been bringing up right now for the PlayStation hack? Do you guys think that there's going to be some sort of a resolution? What do you guys, technically, I want to pick your brains. Actually, Logan and I want to pick your brains. Please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let's have a conversation about this. But we're going to still continue on with the PlayStation thing, because not only that PlayStation got hacked, but also Jim Ryan is retiring next spring, which I find it
tinfoil hats on right now.
I find it too convenient right now. like, dude, you're already announcing your retirement next spring after this happened.
Right.
Are you trying to tell us that you're part of it? Do you think something happened? I mean, come on. Something had to happen here. I don't know. I find it all too convenient to me that this is happening. What do you think, Logan?
I don't think you could have said it any better. Beyond convenient is ridiculous. The fact that he decided to say, hey, this just happened and I'm going to announce my retirement. If it wasn't so serious, or if someone up above him wasn't already pissed at him enough, maybe they are now. And he just said, all right, it's time for me to go. Because even though the PlayStation 5 is doing so well, Sony in general really isn't one of those top tier companies. They've been known forever, but if you compare them with Microsoft and Apple and Nintendo or some of these other bigger companies, they just do better. Sony's PlayStation brand is solid, but the PlayStation 5, again, on a video that I covered a while ago, I said lost its identity. And when you think of PlayStation, what do you think these days?
Not much, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, back in the day, it used to be icons, certain games like it used
The
to be
Spyro,
something-
the Crash, Twisted
Yes.
Metal, Tomb
Yes.
Raider. They've lost all that.
Mhm.
Now
I
it's
agree.
Last
It's
of
just
Us,
a
which we've
name-
seen.
It's just a shell, technically.
You've got Last
like
of Us,
what-
which
and
we've
what-
had since
oh,
PS3. Uncharted since
Spider-Man.
PS3. Spider-Man. But where are all the iconic Sony iconography? Where is that? Where's the Sony iconography where you can go, all right, that's a PlayStation game. What else do we have right now is Ratchet and Clank, and we've had one at the beginning. What else is there?
No, nothing else, to be honest. And I had to say I agree with you on that part. Ever since the PlayStation 3, Xbox on 360, and the Wii U, when those, I'll have to say that they were the titans of gaming at that time. Because whatever you talk about those games, you always thought about a somebody. The Wii, Mario, Xbox, Master Chief, PlayStation, Kratos automatically, just because
Right.
he was rocking it so hard.
Yeah, between
Now you
PS2 and PS3, yeah, Kratos
Oh my God.
spiked in popularity. Yeah.
Big time. And I just remember because even on E3 on G4, when they used to do this whole thing like the video montage of the three Titans, you see Kratos, Master Chief, Mario. Immediately, you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be great E3.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, E3, I'm right. And that will be something that will be going through your head. But now, as you mentioned it right now, over the years of time passing by, these systems don't have nothing. They'll have, it's just like PlayStation 5, here it is. You can play any game you want. Nice, awesome, bye.
Yeah. They've got Spider-Man. Technically, you were right when you said that earlier, but I don't think Kratos or Aioli. No, that's the cheese, right? What's her name from Horizon? See, she's not even iconic. They don't have the iconic figures. Gran Turismo, because with the last Gran Turismo, it was kind of pooey. And you think about what is the PlayStation icon these days besides the the triangle, X, circle, square. What character do they have? Like Nintendo's got Mario, Nintendo's got Donkey Kong, Nintendo's got Star Fox, Nintendo's got Peach, Nintendo's got Yoshi. They've got all these characters. What does Sony have? Kratos just isn't. He doesn't have that same gravitas that he did back in the day.
He's just a story now. That's what he is. He's just a story. When back then it was like, my God, can you imagine Kratos right now doing this and that? Oh my God, can you remember what Kratos did? Like Kratos was an icon. He was
Right.
like a rock icon in those times, and of course, like I'll bring it back to Xbox. I'm not much of an Xbox fanboy or anything, or know much of it, but we'll go back to even Master Chief. Even when Master Chief Xbox was announced, you'll go immediately to Halo.
No matter what, even if you didn't play all those other exclusives, like, well, I'm going to get into a video of this, and I'm going to give you a little bit of ahead of time, but Phil Spencer is bringing back MechAssault, or wants to bring back MechAssault. And that was one of those big games in the Xbox era. But you had not just Halo, you had Fable, you had Forza, Project Gotham. Remember that? Remember the first time we got Gears of War? Holy moly. Xbox, during that Xbox and Xbox 360 era, there were titles synonymous. And I think that's one of the big issues that Sony is facing. And I think Jim Ryan or whoever's above him knows this, that Sony, the consoles might be selling well, but they're really getting kicked in the proverbial nards by Game Pass. And then Nintendo, the Switch as a system is destroying them, and with game sales, and Sony is they're still going well with the console, but the software sales and the iconography, the place that secures them number one, he's just not there.
I agree.
And I think that's why it's about time. And there's been a lot of heat on him for the last few years with everything that's going on. And Sony, it's like Sony's missing that oomph factor.
I agree.
Just because you're selling hardware doesn't mean you still have that it factor. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's being pulled away. Or I don't even think he's doing it on purpose. I think he was told to.
Also, you think it was maybe a forced retirement? Like,
yeah,
look,
it's like they're like, it's time. Japan went, it's time.
I get it. Now, to follow up with this whole thing with Jim Ryan, who do you think the next successor will be? Or do you think they're just going to get some fresh face to take over?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was they did announce the interim CEO position, and it's Hiroki Totokai. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Hiroki Totoki. So, and that article, I have it up here on mine, and that comes from Push Square, and they have the gentleman's name up there. So I don't know who he is. Let me see if I can see it on my end. It doesn't say much about him, but I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming days who he is and why. We'll assume, yeah. There we really don't have anything. I'm looking at it here, and I'm like, yep, I don't see anything much about the guy. I'm sure he's worked within Sony, but now we have. Again, brings me back to my tinfoil hat conspiracy that Japan stepped in and said, hey, we're putting one of our guys in. Hence, we've got Mr. Japanese Sir over here coming straight from corporate to maybe change up the direction of Sony.
I will have to say, with him stepping down pretty much next spring, I do pray for the best, especially for Sony Entertainment and Sony in whole. I do pray that something good comes out of this. I'm very optimistic when it comes to things like this because God only knows why or what's going on here. But I do think that if he's stepping down, and there's been a lot of things been happening around when Jim Ryan's been around, that a lot of people kind of have a bitter taste in their mouth. But if this is going to be for the best for Sony and for the fans out there and for the gamers, I would say let's go for it and see and wait what's going to happen technically.
Right. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think injecting some new blood in there and with a new perspective, it can only make things better because things haven't been the greatest for the PlayStation. I like the PlayStation 5, but with the price hikes, the lack of real games, I'm sorry, I don't consider rehashes and sequels and remasters.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's more like a cosmetic thing for the games, but when it comes to real games, it's been kind of hard and shallow, and it's kind of like it's been a dry spell. Look, ever since COVID, it's been a tough time for gaming, and especially for people that want to get a PS5 and all that stuff. Which we get it. But then when it came to software development and stuff like that, it's been really slow on everybody. So there was not a lot of games coming out, whatever. But we're already in 2023. I would expect, everyone be like, okay, that's it. We're let's get over this and let's make some really good games. And there is some good games. I'm not gonna also bash them all there also, but like you said, also the remasters, the second editions. You know what?
Like how many versions of The Last of Us do we need? And why do we need another remaster of a game that looked like, it just came out? Like
I don't understand that. Like that part over there. Look, you know what? PlayStation 3 actually did that. No, or was it 4? Yeah, 4. They did the same thing for God of War. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
And in my head I was like, why do I want them again if I already beat them in my PlayStation 2?
Yeah, just like 2 years ago. And the game's gonna look the same.
Yeah, so I was like,
it's just now in HD. I'm like, oh,
now you can see the blades full of blood. Whatever. But you know what, man? It's all fine and dandy. But again, audience, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this whole thing about what Jim Ryan retiring so early? What do you guys think about everything we talked about in Sony in general? Please comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Let's have a conversation about this. Now, the man of the hour, the man. Let's get to know him a little better, folks. Come on. Logan, talk to us. How is it and when is it that you started this whole thing? And like, what came to your mind to make this whole podcast and your shows and your videos, like everything? Because he doesn't just do only the Red Bandana Gaming. He also has Ready to Start on podcasts as well, which I sometimes join.
This guy, no matter what he wants to say, he is a founding member. I still consider him one of the founding members because he was on our first episode. You were on up to what? Up to episode 7 or 8, something like that. I know we had to change the format because things have been going on with your life.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. That's cool. That doesn't mean you're not going to be back.
No, I am going to be back. I do make that promise. But the thing is that it's not about me, guys. It's about him.
It's not about
Let's
me.
talk more
it's
about
about you. No, it's about me. It's about me. Well, if any of your audience has watched the podcast, we have talked about this on our couple of first episodes, and I appreciate you bringing me on here. Me, for those of you who don't know who I am, Red Bandana Gaming here on YouTube, and you can follow me on Instagram at Red Bandana Gaming. What else am I on? Facebook and Twitter at RBG_retro. There we go. I have a few of them social medias. I don't really, I'm not on social media as much. I'm old. What can I say? I'm getting there. Dude, you know you're old when you start to find gray nose hairs.
Don't stop, man. I found a couple already, man.
Yeah, today I went, oh, got it. But yes,
them out
so,
and it hurts like hell. I'm like,
see, I have one of those nose shavers. See, yes, I'm old. I will be 40 in about 2.5 weeks. So as you can tell by the Skeletor, I've got Ninja Turtles. I'm a big Power Rangers and He-Man fan. Awesome. But I've been doing this channel. I've had the Red Bandana Gaming name since 2018, but I didn't really start until 2019. So right before the pandemic, I started. I was doing about 1 video a week for about 2 years until the pandemic hit. And then I was like, wow, I'm stuck at home. And then I ramped up the channel, and then I moved from South Florida. I used to live actually not too far from this guy. It was funny. You know, I lived I lived proverbially, we'll say down the proverbial street.
Yes.
It was about 10 miles away, 15 miles away at most, but around 10 miles away. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. And then I didn't meet him until after I moved upstate. So in 2021, I moved out of South Florida up to upstate, and then the channel really took off. And then my wife was like, you know what? You're going to make this thing work. So I've been doing that, making videos every day. I've worked for companies such as Microsoft and GameStop. So worked with those companies. I've done game development, stuff like that. Nothing professional, but indie stuff. And I'm a professional artist, own my own business, stuff like that. So, and I'm a nerd. If we
haven't figured it out yet, right?
Maybe I even call myself a geek who happens to be from Miami.
I mean, it just writes itself, folks. It just does.
And I'm actually from Miami, not Hialeah.
Oh, please, excuse me, Mr. Pinky Up. We're not gonna write that now, okay?
Is that something when you're drinking like bougie beer and you're like,
Actually, it happens to me a lot because I broke this hand punching walls, and every so often I'll grab something and I'll just do this, and it just grips, so this pinky will stay out. So everyone's like, "You're being bougie," and I'm like, "Oh no!" And it's like force it down and grab, and everyone's like, "What are you trying to do?" I'm like, "Bro, you know what? I don't care about my pinky anymore." So if I ever talk to you and I'm like, "Bro, you have to go here," I'll do this sign over here, or if I'm flicking you off, it might be something like this, or it just might happen. Just letting you know. So this pinky will stay out.
So you know what? I don't mind if you do the pinky, you can do the pinky. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Look, I'm just
showing you a little classy.
This is how much it sticks out.
You're classy. You're classy.
I'm a classic
class
Hialeah
act
boy. But Logan, I gotta tell you something, man. I mean, having you on the show is actually not just a joy to me, but an honor because, as you know, I'm not one to bring on people to the show because I'm always
Yep.
shy, and then of course my work times is pretty weird. And
Mhm.
I gotta say, man, it was a complete honor having you here with me. I know Willie right now is in his bed, which I'm sorry, folks, you guys didn't know. Willie is sick right now, like sick like a dog, and I'm praying that he gets
Like a
better by
dog.
Friday. Like a dog. He's just
Oh wow,
like dog.
that's
He's-
even worse than a dog.
But yeah, when you go from
That's a
dog
dog.
to dog,
Yeah,
gone.
that's like next level sickness.
Yeah, man. And I talked to him today in the morning. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, he talked like the Godfather. I'm like, Godfather, how can I help you? And I was like, all up in there, man. And he was like, just telling me, he's like, bro, I'll be on. I get home, like, hey, Willie, we're here. How you feeling? I'm dying. Get better soon. It's like I didn't know what to do. But Willie, us here, man, we hope you get better. And I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last time I'm going to have Logan on here, and vice
no
versa,
problem.
me on his thing, and blah blah blah. You know how it is. We all work together here in this group. But folks, I gotta say this. Thank you so much, for joining us here. And Logan, again, honor, complete honor you having here. I'm not starstruck because you're a good friend of mine, but I'm just happy that you're here. That's all I can say.
I'm actually happy that you brought me on. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I will actually find a way to feature this on my channel. If not, I'm gonna chop this up and make some shorts out of it, so more people see you.
I got you. I'm gonna send it to you. You know how it is.
Okay.
But folks, again, thank you so much for joining us today on this amazing show. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button just so when we come out this amazing news, which is 3 times a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, and a little something in between. Logan, do you have any last words? You have any last words?
We don't need an Office reboot. Remember that. We don't need that.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that.
And make sure you like, share, subscribe here, because my people, I know I'm going to get to watch this. They're going to watch this. And for those of who are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to Miami Geeks. We need to get this guy to 1,000. Come on.
Subscribe to this guy too, man. He's freaking cool people, man. I like him.
I'm almost at 7K. That's fine. I'll get there when I get there.
I can just wait to get to some numbers like that. Right now,
You'll get there.
1,000. Eventually, slowly but surely, I'll be there. I know I am.
You'll get there. We'll get you there. Do it as a team.
Push it to the limit.
That's why you're going to be back on Ready to Start, especially now that we've grown the audience. We want to grow your audience. And if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing?
Subscribe. But guys, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Sorry, sir. You have to say your line.
Oh, you want me to say my line?
Absolutely.
You want me to
Please.
be legendary. Thanks again.
Later, everybody.